I'm going to find the light in everything I do, because you can't stay focused and inspired unless you find the light in it. One of the simplest ways to change your life is to be a student of your calendar. So if I'm a student of my calendar, I'm studying my calendar 7 days a week, every day, for productivity and accessibility of what I do in person, on the phone, via email and media, radio, print, TV, social media, whatever you're involved with. I have beaten people with math since I graduated law school. People ask me all the time, how do you make $1 million right out of law school selling legal research online? Nobody else did. Well, I'll tell you how. I took a job that had a $250,000 comp plan, $250,000 app plan. And I said to myself, okay, most people that have this job have existing territories, relationships, they have families and houses and all these things. And at best, they work 8 hours productive 5 days a week. Right. Productive 8 hours. Yep. And they anticipate that if I work a productive 8 hours a day, that I will make $250,000 by the end of the year, even though I don't have the relationships, the skills, knowledge that a 50-year-old sales guy that's been here 25 years since he graduated, I'm somehow supposed to be able to do this. So I said to myself, all right, I'm going to focus. How am I going to focus? Number one, I'm going to find the light in everything I do, because you can't stay focused and inspired unless you find the light in it. If you're always looking at the shortages, voids, and obstacles of what's there, you're going to get more of the shortages, voids, and obstacles. So I'm going to take everything from, back then you had maps, like planning my scheduled day, and I'm going to look into the light and make it fun or challenging. Right. So basically I said, I'm going to work 16 hours productive a day, 7 days a week though. So I'm going to work 16 hours, 7 days a week productive instead of 8 hours in 5 days. Then two, I'm going to focus in on the light. I'm going to challenge myself to be twice as efficient. So my 16 hours productive will be worth 32 hours productive. Then the challenging one was, how am I going to be twice as statistically successful? Because they had existing territories and relationships and knowledge and skills they've been selling for 25 years. I just got out of law school. So I said to myself, okay, on average, these guys are doing 10 appointments a week. Now, most people say, well, do 20. Well, I figured I was half as good. I used a little bit of radical humility and realization, because I learned that in football. Yeah. Right? Sure. I just learned to exist on who I was, and I was going to make my weaknesses strengths. But you have to know what your weaknesses are in order to turn them into strengths, on the field, on the court, or off the field. So I said, all right, I'm going to do 40. I'm going to do 40 appointments, and I'm going to close half as many as the average guy, which will make me twice as successful. Right. Though. So my 32 hours of productivity became 64 hours of productivity a day. That's 8 hours times 8. Every day that I worked was 8 days, times 7 days, not 5, because I wasn't married with kids and I didn't have a house and anything. I was involved. I had one goal: to make money to buy my mom a house and a car. Wow. So what I did, I worked 56 days a week of productivity, of producing. Yeah. So in 9 months, I worked what was equivalent to 10 years of sales. Dude, amazing. So people tell me all the time, oh, you make $1 million bucks? I'm like, yeah, but I was 150 under plan per year. And they were like, what is this kid I was only 24 years old. I just turned 25, right? And they're changing the comp plan on me because I made $1 million bucks, and I'm telling them I was 150,000 below plan each year I worked. And they're looking, you worked 9 months, psycho, and you were, 750,000 or plus above plan. Well, yeah, because they didn't get the fact that I worked 10 years. Wow. And I used that math by connecting the dots backwards. And so I meet real estate guys that I coach, and within years, they go to $1 billion. These are guys that are sometimes bankrupt, and they go to $1 billion in production because I have them say, okay, how many times are you knocking on doors? I don't like to knock on doors. Okay, why not? It's just like the guy that told me, I don't like emails. I'm like, you love emails. He goes, I hate them. I said, no, I can make you like them in a couple of minutes. He goes, in fact, I'll make you love them. He goes, how? I go, I'll give you $1,000 for every email that you send and $2,000 for every one you receive. Right? And wow. And he's like, I go, do you like emails now? You want any? You want to send any? Yeah. Okay, you found the light in an email. So how can we find light in knocking on doors? Well, when we reverse engineer and say, by knocking on 50 doors a day, 7 days a week, it's going to result in 4 extra listings a month. 4 extra listings a month in California is worth an extra $120,000 a month. An extra $120,000 a month equates to $1.44 million a year in my pocket. $1.4 million a year allows me to shop for what I want. If I shop for what I really want and they're good things, it's going to make me happy. Right? I'm connecting the dots backwards.
Exactly.
But people don't do the math.
Exactly.
They don't do the math with the time, the money, or literally their efficiency. So if you study your calendar, that's why I have silly rules, right? 5/20 rule. People think that's silly. It's not silly to me at all because I limit my phone calls during the day in what I call activity I get paid for to 5 minutes, because I can get through a phone call in 5 minutes for activity I get paid for. Activity I don't get paid for, I schedule other times. I don't have to limit a phone call for activity. That's for visiting and having fun. But for activity I get paid for, I do 5-minute phone calls and 20-minute meetings, 20-minute interviews on my podcast.
Yep.
And yes, I have exceptions for everything according to my prioritized values. Right? For example, my son is going to come into work for fantasy football today. That is not efficient or effective, but it's a priority to me because it means so much to him.